is Graham Carroll, and this is my persuasive speech. We are now going to introduce the audience. This is the cameraman.
Garrett.
I'm Tammy.
I'm Lindsay.
Andrew.
Graham.
Jennifer.
For my speech, the topic that I chose is that I think there should be cameras at every intersection in the United States, and I have given everybody here a piece of paper that is showing where I got these facts, that these are not just facts I pulled off the internet. These are real facts, real hard facts. Okay, so in 2016, there were 37,000 lives that were lost on the roads in the United States. An additional 2.3 million were injured or disabled due to these car crashes. 10,000 deaths were related to speeding, 6,000 deaths were pedestrian, and 11,000 were due to not wearing seatbelts. If there were cameras at intersections, people would be more inclined to drive and follow the laws, because they knew that if they went through the light, say ran the red light, or they were speeding through the light, or they were not wearing a seatbelt, that they would get an infraction. People would be more cautious when they were driving because they would know that they could get an infraction. And in New Albany, New York, these cameras have already been put into place. Cameras have been shown to substantially reduce violations, decrease the number of crashes, and improve driver behavior. Police officers were trained to look at these pictures and determine whether these were real infractions that were being committed by the drivers. Now, what these cameras would do is that they would take a picture of the license plate of the person driving, so they knew who to ticket, and the camera picture would show what that driver was doing, whether it was a seatbelt violation, whether they were running the red light, or they were speeding. Now, this has already been put into place in some major cities, but if they were put at every intersection in the United States, these deaths would be drastically reduced, and just your average car collision, okay? The main factor that would adhere from cameras being put at intersections, it would be the cost of it. On average, according to itcosts.gov, per camera is $70,000. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but you can't put a price on a human being's life. So $70,000 really isn't a lot when you're looking at people dying every day from fatal car crashes. So according to assert.org, road crashes cost the U.S. $230 billion on average a year. So if these cameras that were put into place reduce these fatal car crashes, or just car crashes in general, by 10%, you would get roughly around $36 billion. And even if you started small, just by putting cameras at every other light or every other intersection in a major city, people would know that these cameras were here, and they would be less inclined to be driving like a maniac, or less inclined to be speeding through an intersection, even if they weren't at every intersection. If they were at every other intersection, people would still know that they would have to be careful so that they would not get an infraction. And I've seen some, I've been to Orlando, I've been to New York City, and I've seen some of these cameras, but they don't have them at every intersection. They're at every other intersection. And it still deters the average driver to not speed, to not run that light, or to wear their seatbelt. But I think long term, the United States government should put them at every stoplight, because you cannot put a price on a human's life.